Hi. To say that I'm angry is an understatement. One of the greatest ladies that ever lived has died, and the hate-filled ignoramus are celebrating her death. Our Queen served her country loyally and faithfully as Queen for 70 years, and before that, as a teenager, she played her part. But there are some people so heartless, so devoid of humanity, that they will not allow her family to grieve in peace. But they will pour scorn and vitriol over her passing and celebrate the death of a truly great lady. An American professor, UJU ANYA, someone who's teaching the young of America, she's teaching apparently critical discourse studies, whatever they are, primarily examining race, gender, sexual and social class identities through the experiences of African American students. She's proved herself to be one of those despicable individuals. As our 96-year-old Queen lay dying only 3 days after inaugurating the new Prime Minister, this callous, cold-hearted, vicious individual tweeted the following: "I heard that the chief monarch of a thieving, raping, genocidal empire is finally dying. May her pain be excruciating." I shall leave you to judge how black this person's heart must be, how totally devoid of human compassion. But she is also ignorant and hypocritical. She subsequently tweeted the following: "If anyone expects me to express anything but disdain for the monarch who supervised a government that sponsored the genocide that massacred and displaced half my family, and the consequences of which those alive today are still trying to overcome, you can keep wishing upon a star." Glossing over the fact that the Queen actually presided over the dismantling of the colonies, the British did never commit genocide. That is a provable lie. And we also left the countries in a better state than we found them, with a democracy, a legal system and an infrastructure still in use today in many of those countries. And we've seen what's happened to the former Rhodesia and currently happening to South Africa since white people withdrew. But here's the rub. Anya is showing her complete ignorance and hypocrisy. The alleged massacre and displacement to which she refers, of course, is slavery. Now, if this piece of ignorant, racist filth was being honest, she would not have made this statement. She's not an African American. She's not from the West Indies. If that had been the case, then she would like as not have been descended from a slave. No, in fact, she is Nigerian. Nigeria participated actively in the transatlantic slave trade. In fact, almost 100% of black slaves transported across the Atlantic in that horrific time were in the first instance captured and enslaved by black people and sold to the European slavers. So, Ms. Anya, you're more likely to have been descended from slavers, not the slaves. It was your ancestors who massacred and displaced the black slaves, selling them to the European slavers, not all of whom were British, by the way. In fact, the traditional slave trade in Nigeria preceded the arrival of the European influence and continued long after the effective abolition of slavery in many other countries. And although slavery in Nigeria and all the colonies of the British Empire was officially prohibited by the British from the mid-1880s, it continued in Nigeria well into the 1930s and not until the 1940s. So, madam, your country is the one that not only participated in the slave trade, but carried it on until the mid-20th century, long after we, the British, banned it. In fact, as recently as 1900, the Sokoto Caliphate that ruled northern Nigeria had as many as 2 million slaves. So don't talk to me about the evil British. This is one of the evil things that the empire stopped, but your people, the Nigerians, carried on. And modern slavery is still active in your country. In fact, human trafficking in Nigeria is increasing with both domestic and international human trafficking. Nigeria has also become a transit corridor through which other countries convey their victims. So this lying, fiercely racist, inhuman piece of filth, and I'm restraining myself here, should get down on her knees and beg forgiveness. and she is teaching Americans' young black people. Think about it. See ya.